Emotional fitness is the ability to stay present in the moment, thinking what you need to do right now, and today's officer shows a huge amount of it. Hi everyone, welcome to today's badge cam lesson here at Active Self Protection. I'm your host, John Correa.
I'm your co-host, Mike Williver. I know people like it when I forget the name of the city, John. I know you don't, but the people love it.
They do love it.
Guess what I've done?
You've forgotten it?
I have. I'm like a goldfish.
Bristol, Connecticut.
Magtech is the only pistol or rifle ammo I use on the range, and I recommend them highly. I've seen their manufacturing and quality control firsthand, and it's incredible, which is why it always performs reliably and accurately. They are operating at max capacity and cranking out rounds for you to keep your skills sharp. Pick up some Magtech at your local ammo retailer or get it shipped fast at luckygunner.com.
If you go read the news stories that I've linked in the description, a man has called 911 and lured officers to him. He's wearing camouflage, he's out in the yard with a rifle, and one sergeant and two other officers respond to that. You're gonna hear the aftermath of it, and as it continues, let's listen in on the badge cam of Officer Urato.
Shots fired, shots fired. More cars, send everyone. Officer shot, officer shot.
Racing's off shot.
Ah. Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
Where's the address? 310, 310 Redstone Hill Road. Clear early time there, check him going. Racing. 10:30 to 14, they're already going.
One down. Suspect down.
Tragically, Sergeant DeMonte and Officer Hamzy died that day in the line of duty. Officer Urato was shot in the leg. His one shot that he shot at the suspect hit and proved to be fatal to the suspect. Thankfully, Officer Urato, his shot through the leg did not hit any major arteries. He did make it through this. All right, I need a comment in the comment section if you want Mike to keep his job or if we need to get somebody else to be able to say where our freaking videos come from. God's sake. There's a lot of lessons on this one. This officer's a stud. Go read the news stories, and the perp fired 80 rounds at these officers, and one of them has hit Officer Urato in the leg, Mike, and I mean, just what a stud. What emotional fitness to stay present, get himself to a safe place, and then get back in the fight in order to stop this threat.
You know, I'm glad that you served me up some of these videos where the officers did everything right, because frequently it's the other way around. And the last couple that we've dealt with have been not so great. So this one, it's hard for us to zero in on one of the things he did right that sort of shines brighter than the others. Because frankly, if we could just do this video and just talk about emotional and spiritual fitness, just talk about, you know, how to keep your head about you when everybody else is losing theirs, all that kind of thing. That could be the whole point of this video, but there's other points that are just as important. But yeah, the idea that you can look at two of your friends, and I promise you they're friends, they're more than just coworkers, two maybe dads, husbands that you suspect now aren't going to be going home to their kids and their wives. Just to see that and then be able to press on and sort of reserve the emotional aftermath of that until later is not easy. It's extremely difficult to do, but this officer understands that, okay, I can deal with that later. Just like he said, I can deal with my gunshot later. I've got to take care of this now. That's my first priority, is to neutralize this threat. First, I've got to get to a position of safety, make sure that I'm not bleeding to death too quickly, and then I've got to end this threat. And he did just that. Just that by itself is a lot, John. But as you know, we're going to go over a few other points that are equally impressive.
I love the fact here that he used the tree as cover. You know, the tree is between him and where the threat is coming from. Excellent work there. And then used his handheld flashlight to go, okay, do I need a tourniquet on right now? Is my leg bleeding bad enough that I need a tourniquet? And again, if we had, you know, if in doubt, put a tourniquet on, but he looks at it and says, nope, it's not bleeding that bad. I'm okay for the moment. And then, you know, of course, my question, Mike, you said this off camera before we went to filming, is how in the world did that guy miss Officer Jurado's giant balls? And I don't know how he did, but he did. And so I love the fact here that Officer Jurado, he's hurt, and you can see it in his gait. He can't use that leg very well. It doesn't matter. He's getting back in the fight. Incredible emotional fitness there to say not what did happen to me, but what do I need to do right now to protect myself, to protect my partners, to protect the community. A couple of things I want to mention here as well. You can see on the right-hand side that Officer Jurado's pistol is equipped with a pistol-mounted optic. He's going to take a 25-yard shot here in just a second, a single measured 25-yard shot, and put it absolutely dead center on this guy and stop the threat. And quite frankly, a pistol-mounted optic makes that a much more doable shot. It is very difficult, especially in these challenging lighting conditions, to do that with iron sights. I'm not saying it's impossible. It absolutely is possible, but so much easier. And this is exactly why I think modern technology says in 2023 and beyond, into 2024, every officer needs to have a pistol-mounted optic on his pistol.
Let me address another aspect of that, John. That whole time where you see, and it takes agonizing, slow seconds for him to get from that cover behind the tree over to where he is now. I think if he could have moved faster, he would have. He just couldn't. He was probably in too much pain, or something, a muscle was affected by the round that went through his leg or whatever. But that entire time that he's trying to get to cover, he's thinking, this could be my last step. This could be my last step. This could be my last step ever of all time before I catch a round. He's seen two of his partners who I'm pretty sure he knows are gravely wounded. And so the emotional fitness it takes to do what he did and get behind there and then take that shot. The fact that he had a rear-mounted red dot optic on that gun, I guarantee you it made all the difference in the world. He's in a lot of pain, but he managed to, another thing I forgot to mention, he manages to take a nice, slow, timed, aimed shot, a sensible shot, whereas we've seen so many times in citizen and law enforcement encounters when, you know, they get in a position like this and they see whatever it is they're about to be shooting at, and they just start emotionally dumping rounds in that general direction. He didn't do any of that. Another thing that I think is outstanding about how he handled himself under these circumstances, that the optic on the gun almost certainly made a difference in his ability to be accurate with one shot from that distance.
And look at the face of the officer. You can see it reflected here in the glass. He's calm, he's measured. That takes, again, emotional fitness to present the situation that I'm in to myself in such a way that I'm powerful enough to handle the challenge before me. And he says, I need to put a shot on this guy. I've measured this on Google Maps. I do that all the time. We know where it was. And so this is within a yard of 25 yards. So listen, he takes 3 seconds to make this shot from the time he starts pressing the gun out. 3 seconds from a low ready, 25 yards. Can you get a guaranteed hit? And perhaps you're even a guaranteed hit, whether you want to put it center mass or you want to put it in the head box. He got that hit, and I think that's a high level of marksmanship. Notice here he uses the rest on the top of the cruiser to gain himself a little bit of additional stability. But look at his face, look at his relaxed body posture. Just, I mean, literally textbook, and doubly so the fact that his leg is surely screaming at him, Mike. And
yeah, to review, he's almost certainly in blinding pain, and he has just seen almost certainly two of his friends, probably good friends, shot and probably dying or dead. and he maintains his composure to this level. It really is just an unbelievable amount of presence of mind. This is what we want to see from our police officers. Unfortunately, lately, some of the videos we've seen, the officers either didn't know what they were doing, or they were incompetent in general, or they weren't very good at, you know, communicating with people or whatever. This guy did all the things that he did under those circumstances, and it really is just unbelievable that he was able to get that shot off like that. This also goes to show you, John, you'll hear people say, both in LE and private citizen, you'll hear it at the range, marksmanship's not that important. You know, if you're going to get into a gunfight, it's going to be within, you know, 3 to 5 yards, and you're only going to shoot this many rounds, and all you got to do is, you know, point, shoot, blah, 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 blah. Well, this gives lie to all of that, literally all of it. It's not true. This officer practiced his marksmanship clearly and was able to confidently and calmly get off a 25-yard shot with a pistol. I was praying he was going to, you know, whip a shotgun or a rifle out of one of those 2 cop cars he passed. Turns out he didn't need to, and I think he knew that.
Yeah, and I also want to note here that Officer Jurado uses his pistol-mounted light in what looks to me to be a highly trained way. Number one, he needs more light on this situation. He has a light on his pistol. He uses the light on his pistol. We don't see a lot of cops that have pistol-mounted lights use them effectively. He did. Well, I could have, you know, figured out from his marksmanship that he's absolutely a stud and knows what he's doing and probably trains his butt off. Number two, something that I noticed here, he didn't use the pistol-mounted light to take the shot. And I actually think, man, what a choice, because I don't want to alert the guy that the shot is coming. I don't want to give him a chance to get out of my way. So he uses the light, ambient light that he has, knowing that he's got a shot to take it, and then to identify, do I need to keep shooting him? He comes to a different position and uses that pistol-mounted light. Again, from a training perspective, Officer Jurado, I mean, from an emotional perspective, you are a member of the Special Pants Brigade, sir. May God bless you and keep you and make his face to smile upon you. And from a tactics and techniques and abilities perspective, again, absolutely top-notch, top flight, and the very best of what we have seen on the channel. Of course, our condolences go out to the families of Sergeant Damani and Officer Hamzy, and what a tragedy that this guy just decided he wanted to ambush a bunch of cops that day. The news story that I've linked in the description says that this guy, the perp here, actually went to high school with Officer Hamzy, so had some information, and crazy enough, was actually on the same football team as Aaron Hernandez, the guy that was on the New England Patriots and was also in prison for murder. So, I mean, just the circumstances abound here, and that's nuts. Officer Jurado, just hats off to you, sir. And for everyone, this is the kind of cop we want on our force to help our community cover their ass.